To understand Isaiah 43, we have to start with the physical reality of the Judeans. They have been conquered, deported, and are currently living in captivity under the Babylonian Empire. The sheer scale of this empire was overwhelming. The captive Judeans found themselves a powerless minority surrounded by massive, towering architecture and a dominant military force. In the ancient Near East, military defeat carried a strict theological implication. It was universally assumed that if a nation was conquered, their native gods had been defeated by the conqueror's deities. This created a crisis of faith for the exiled Jews. Living day after day under foreign rule, the psychological toll mounted as they questioned whether Yahweh had abandoned them or had simply been overpowered. The Babylonians actively weaponized this assumption. They paraded their staggering wealth and monumental structures as empirical proof that their local deities were supreme. Isaiah 43 functions as a rigorous epistemological defense of Yahweh's survival, responding to the Babylonian claim of supremacy with a demand for historical proof. The prophet frames this defense as a cosmic trial. God issues a formal challenge to the world's false idols and the nations that worship them to take the stand and present their case. In this courtroom, God introduces the concept of an empirical witness. In an ancient context, a witness is distinct from a mere follower. A follower holds a belief, but a witness provides verifiable historical data. God positions the captive Judeans as the definitive evidence of his exclusive sovereignty, transforming their experience of exile into a recorded dataset. To see how this argument is constructed, we will conduct a verse-by-verse logical derivation of Isaiah 43, verses 8 through 13. Applying this legal framework suggests the exile served a mechanical purpose, generating reliable witnesses through direct historical experience. Read the text of verse 8 carefully. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. This summons carries a dual meaning. God is either calling the formerly blind Israelites, who can now perceive the truth, or he is summoning the lifeless, idolatrous gods of the Gentiles, entities possessing physical eyes of stone that simply cannot see. The trial moves forward in verse 9. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and shew us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say, it is truth. Here, God establishes the specific metric for divinity. True deity is proven by the ability to accurately predict and declare the precise sequential order of historical events before they happen. This is a timeline comparing static mythology against a verifiable sequence of events. While local pagan cults relied on abstract, non-historical claims, God demands a dynamic sequence of geopolitical checkpoints, from Assyria to Babylon to Cyrus. This challenge strips away all mysticism. It shifts the absolute proof of divinity entirely into the realm of verifiable geopolitical data. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. This raises the central question. What qualifies the Jews, specifically, to bear witness against the religious claims of Babylon? Their qualification comes from the events they lived through. First, God accurately foretold the fall of the Assyrian Empire and the subsequent rise of Babylon well before it occurred. Second, God prophesied that after a specific period of captivity, they would be liberated by the Medes, led specifically by a king named Cyrus, because they are the only nation functioning as living, breathing data points of fulfilled divine prophecy. Verse 11 reads, I, even I, am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. Within this geopolitical context, Savior is a highly specific term. It means no local idol or foreign alliance has the power to extract them from Babylon. Yahweh alone acts as the liberator. The text then shifts to the past tense. I have declared and have saved, and I have shewed, when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am God. This historical claim points directly to the precedent of King Hezekiah and the miraculous deliverance of Jerusalem from the Assyrian king Sennacherib. This is Sennacherib's prism. It explicitly boasts of trapping Hezekiah like a bird in a cage, but notably fails to claim the city's capture, perfectly corroborating the biblical account of God's intervention. The timing of this deliverance is crucial. It occurred right after Hezekiah had actively purged Judah of all strange gods and idols, isolating Yahweh as the sole variable in their survival. The Sennacherib event serves as established, documented legal precedent in this cosmic trial. It proves to the captive Jews that God has a perfect track record of executing impossible deliverances entirely independent of idols. The argument culminates in verse 13. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? The phrase, before the day was, functionally translates to, from this day forth, I am the same. This establishes God's absolute chronological supremacy. He then asks, I will work, and who shall let it? In this context, let it means to reverse, hinder, or turn it back. The specific work God references here is the imminent, irreversible restoration of Israel to their homeland. Because of God's absolute sovereignty, history operates as a closed loop of divine decree and fulfillment. No human empire, standing army, or false god's timeline. The cosmic trial concludes with a clear verdict. The idols failed to present any predictive evidence, remaining completely silent. Meanwhile, the survival of the Jewish people provided an overwhelming, definitive witness. The exile operated as the specific mechanism that forged a monotheistic identity, ensuring the nation's theology remained tethered to historical reality. The Israelites were chosen as witnesses because their physical survival through prophesied destruction and redemption proved permanently that Yahweh alone authors human history. Prophecy in Isaiah acts as an empirical legal defense, using chronological accuracy to invalidate the claims of competing religions. This concludes our overview.